see it growing on the sunnier side of stone like this. This stone is what we call dry stone walling. There is no cement, no mortar whatsoever. Furthermore, it's called corbelling. So the stone is all coming in. Each stone is layered like this once you get up to above a certain height, okay? You get the idea? Mm-hmm. As well as that, every stone is tilted outwards. Water driven in, runs back out. Mm-hmm. You know, we get 100 plus miles an hour wind along here, okay? Hurricane force near enough. This had to withstand it, and you didn't want water coming in. This is all breathable. There was a fire here, and the smoke permeates, goes out through this. That's how they know about this. You lift off some of these stones, you'll find soot and ash. This would have been about 4 meters high interior, so the smoke can go up. Interesting thing, I've slept in places like this. When the fire is going well, air is clear, fine. Let the fire die down and the smoke comes down. You will choke to death. So somebody had to feed the fire all night.
With all the plentiful wood nearby.
Turf would be the main thing. Peat, turf, whatever. Now, you see these stones here. Again, very, very clear. We've got a lintel and we've got these stones. This is called post and mortar, so sometimes these actually fit into one another, not in this case. This is earlier. This here is what we call a souterrain. The souterrains in this part of the world are very, very small. Where I'm from, these can go hundreds of meters underground, okay? And even then, hundreds of meters of air holes. They were purely defensive, and in fact, defendable as well. This would have been for keeping cheese, butter in particular, and sour milk. Sour milk sounds to us disgusting, certainly does to me. I'm lactose intolerant. And but sour milk is probably a form of yogurt, but in Irish it's referred to as sour milk. We even sing songs about the sour milk cart, is the song I sing. And so sour milk was a big thing for the peasantry. But we know you can keep butter and cheese for very long periods of time, particularly if you put it in a place like this, or in the bog itself, where it's anaerobic, no air gets at it, no light, no air. It can last thousands of years. Here, it would last just like your fridge. It's about 6 degrees, 5 degrees maybe in winter. So you could keep it just as long as you can keep anything in a fridge. You can keep it here. Meat probably wasn't kept very long for obvious reasons, but what you can do with meat and fish is dry it in the wind and in the sun. So it is possible to basically beef jerky, fish jerky, if you can sort of make that transition. So food could be preserved. The most important thing is you didn't build something like this if you're a hunter-gatherer society. That's a very, very important thing to understand. This is the end of hunter-gatherer. People have come here, they're settled. To settle, it means you have some way of producing food, preserving food. Without those two, you starve to death. You get the idea? So this is really, really important for that reason. Now, what's unusual about this one is it isn't what we call a longhouse in Ireland. Even Versailles, Palace of Versailles is built as a longhouse. Usually to be another and a third built on here. And this one normally would be the smallest one, and then as the family grew, you built bigger because you built one, now you know the technique, now you've got the time to build a bigger one. And it was usually, because that's where the wind comes from, that's where the door is. Also, very early in the morning, the sun will come in here. And there probably would have been 20, 25 people sleeping in here. And it was mostly only for sleeping and in wintertime cooking. But generally speaking, everybody lived outdoors. and you would obviously you didn't wash, but you did have sweat houses. We had sweat houses in Ireland going back thousands of years. We also had houses that have no sweat houses that have no burnt stone beside them, and we think they would have been for young boys, teenagers, pre-teeners, to go through some kind of rite of passage. Girls have the menstrual issues, so very clearly they've gone from being a girl to a woman. Boys don't have that. So they would be taken into some kind of sweat lodge with a shaman, with an older person who maybe hallucinogenics were used, we don't know, we can speculate. But usually we from the old writings, from the old mythologies, 3 nights, 3 days, 3 nights in seclusion with generally an older person who, as fears, as emotions come up, the older person can help deal with these things and explain about what's expected of a young man. So this kind of structure was incredibly important. So there's 3 things to remember. First of all, it was completely closed. Now, I've had people here tell others this would have been closed with some kind of thatch. Not with the winds we have down here. No, this would have been definitely closed with stone. The stone was then taken to build the roads. Okay. Secondly, it's cantilevered, it's coming in all the way. Okay, that's called corbelling. And thirdly, the stone is all slanting outwards, so the water runs out and away. You've got this for keeping food. There's almost certainly another one out here. And the one out there may well have been a trip step. We don't know, but sometimes that was used too. You know about trip steps in castles? Every second, every third, every fifth, every 7th step is a trip step. So when you're running up, you know, they're uneven. That's why you're going up the castle and you're going up very uneven steps. They're actually designed that way. So if somebody's coming charging up, and then near the top trip step, you fall on your face, there's somebody there going to give you a headache. Okay?